Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kale and I'm incredibly influential.
And my name is Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Today is Sunday, the 17th of November. It is exactly 1738. Do you want to make a wish?
No.
Okay. Um, I was gonna make a whole Fetty Wap bit there, but there you go. Fucking yeah. All right, cool. Uh, we were going to have a guest on this week's episode. Um, I just got off the phone with him. He actually has like an interview right now, which is very sad because it's gonna be really great. Um, uh, but yes, our secret guest. I think we'll probably have him on next week. What do you think, Danny? You think that's a good idea? Next week.
We'll have to check his schedule, but yeah, I'm fine with that. That sounds good to me.
All right. He did give us a message for you all to ponder over for the next week while you wait with bated breath for the reveal of who it is. He did say, and I quote, "Fuga Wooga Imoga Wong." That's
It's really like poetry, you know.
it's sort of like poetry. Is that it rhymes?
No, I mean like the meaning behind it's kind of like poetry if you think about
No,
it,
it
you know.
rhymes actually.
Well, yeah, that too. That's another way it's also like poetry.
hmm Um, I hate you.
Um, okay, good start. Good start.
Um, do you think the Fremen from Dune do NoFap?
I've heard of this Dune thing before, but I don't know too much about it.
So the Fremen are like the desert people, and they live on the desert planet, and they do like everything to like recycle as much water as they can.
hmm
Um, like they won't even cry because like water is too important to them. So do you think they do NoFap?
You know, that would make the most sense. You know, they probably also have like some sort of like population control. You know, that way they don't have to worry about more people to that need water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so probably no fat, probably just none of that. None of any of that. I don't know much about Dune, so I don't really know what else I can really say about that. But that's what I'm thinking. That's where my mind's at.
Who else do you think does NoFap?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I feel like a lot of people probably do it, but I really I really don't know what their reasons are. You know, I feel like everybody has their own reasons.
I
I
mean, have you
suppose.
heard like what the NoFap regimen like does to you?
Well, I don't know like how healthy it is. You know, if it actually has any benefits or
It does. It does.
downsides.
So actually, if you do NoFap, um, after 1 week, you gain 5 IQ points. Um,
Hmm.
after 3 weeks, you no longer have to bathe. After 6 weeks, you can hear colors. Uh, and after a year, you are legally immune to criminal prosecution. It's
Mm.
yeah. You you basically become a fucking wizard. It's pretty impressive, but it takes a lot of mental discipline. You know, like
Mhm.
that's why the Fremen are such good fighters in Dune. Is because they're always you know you know no fap. Because you know you're not holding hands with God when you're touching yourself. And you always want to be holding hands with God.
Yes, of course. Because that's what if there's anything that they get from the podcast, that should be the messaging, you know. if they've been listening for long enough, they'll know that that's the core value of IHS.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, would you rather uh like unexpectedly break into song at least once a day, or at least once a day uh be unable to speak, completely mute for 15 minutes?
Um, like if I'm being 100% honest, the mute one is probably the better option, but I I want the more fun option, which is to break into song.
I think the mute one would be better up until it's like, all right, because think about it, right? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's do some math here, right? You know, we're both STEM students, right? Let's do some fucking math here. You ready for this shit? You ready for
Some
this shit?
math. Let's
All right.
go.
So think about it, right? That's 15 minutes. 15 times 365. That's over an entire year. You're losing almost 5,500 minutes of speech, right?
Mhm.
And then multiply that by uh let's say, you know, you're, what are you, you're 24 now.
Yeah.
You're 24, I'm 22. Let's split the difference and just add 60 years, right? Let's just add 60 years to that, times 60. Over your entire rest of your life, if you took this tomorrow, um you would be losing 328,500 minutes of speech over your entire life. Statistically speaking, that's going to come up at like inopportune moments, because it's like an inopportune times during the day, or like random times throughout the day, which means at some point it's going to happen like right when you need it to, right? Like right when you need to speak, it's going to come out at some point. Um yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think either way, kind of kind of bad.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, I have another question for you.
Yes.
Um, would you rather wake up naked in a forest 5 miles from your home, or wake up in your underwear at work?
So naked 5 miles from home,
Mm-hmm.
or in my underwear at work,
Yes.
like completely naked.
Buck ass nude as the day you were born.
No, I think I'd rather just be in my underwear at work.
Well, think about it like this, right? Think about it like this, right?
Hmm.
You're never naked as long as you're wearing a smile. So,
No, I thought about that actually. Crazy enough.
yeah, you got to think about that, right? You got to think about that. Do you trek 5 miles home, but you know you're smiling, right? If you're wearing a smile, then you're not naked. So really, you know, you're good, right?
Hmm.
Um. All right, now you do one.
Is this what we're doing today?
I don't know. I think they're fun. I guess. I don't know.
I I'm not really a very good on the spot type of person here, but let me think. Um, would you rather question? Hmm. Would you rather know when or how you die? I feel like that's a pretty basic one, but
Oh, how?
really,
If I
ex-
knew
ex-
when,
explain that to me. Because
if
I
I
I
knew,
always go when.
I don't want to know when. I don't want to know when. Why would I want to know when? Then
Well,
it's
what's
just a
the
countdown
what's
to
the
fucking.
advantage of knowing why?
Then I don't have to know when.
Okay, well, I think there's more upsides to knowing when.
No. All right. All right, if you know you are going to die in 40 years, every
Like,
single day you're going to be reminded, like I'm already reminded enough of my own mortality, right? My mortality salience is already quite fucking high. I don't need a constant mental reminder that I'm going to die at blah 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 minutes, blah 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 hours on blah 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 day in blah 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 month in blah 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 year. I do not need to know that. I
but think
do
about it
not need to
this
know
way,
that.
right? If you know why, then you're gonna be paranoid of like whatever that thing is, right?
Would you rather have paranoia or dread?
Uh, no, but like I don't know exactly how the rules of this quote unquote game work, right? But here's how I'm thinking about it, right? If
Okay.
you know when, you could say theoretically, unless you can change fate, that you are like pretty much invincible to dying until that day, right?
I don't know if that's true.
No, no. I'm not saying that you're like not gonna get injuries, but I'm saying like you're not gonna die until that day. Unless we believe that we can somehow influence fate, right? But if we're saying that we have the power to predict death, then I'm assuming like we can assume that we can't die before then, right? And if that's the case, you don't have to worry as much about a lot of things. You could be like, okay, well, I know I'm going to die in 40 years. So maybe I'll take some of those risks that I wouldn't have taken before because I was a little unsure, right? Like, oh man, skydiving doesn't sound that bad, like a deep sea scuba diving, whatever. It doesn't sound so bad because I know that I'm going to live, right?
Maybe. You're I mean, is it worth living if you constantly injure yourself to the point of near death? I don't think that like
Well, I'm not saying that you're going to injure yourself. I'm just saying that, you can know for certain that you're not going to die. How is it that I threw this water bottle outside of my room 2 times already, but the cat keeps finding a way to push it into my room and make all this noise?
I mean
I think it's
the
under the
clip
bed now, and now I
the,
can't grab it.
I think the cat is just a D1 hater. I think I think
I
the cat
threw it out
just
of my room two times, and he only has two ways to push it, left and right. So I don't know how he left, right, pushed it into my room 2 times. He cannot be that accurate, but he has been.
that's fair. All right, I have another question for you. I have another question for you.
Wait, there was more thought process behind my answer. I just got distracted by this
Of
cat.
course. Of course,
Uh,
but I have another question for you.
oh, so we're just not
Yeah, we're moving on.
okay.
Um,
I guess.
um, would you rather earn 1 cent every time you stepped, or $1 every time you jumped?
Oh, I think that if I look at my life statistics, I'd have to go with steps. Uh, just because. Well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually the best one so far, in my opinion. I had to think about this, right? Because I could just forego, uh, working, $17 an hour. I could just jump 17 times
That's
every
true.
hour,
Yeah,
right? In theory, if I wanted to, I could just have a really big workout in the morning where I do like jumping jacks or something along those lines, right? And that could supplement not only my income but also my health.
that's true. All right.
I'm
So,
thinking, I'm thinking more about it. I think I do go jump. I think I do go jump.
all right. If I'm earning a cent every time I take a step, I'm looking at my health data here. Tuesday was the day that I walked the most this week. I'll get into that later, but We'll put a pin in that.
Well,
But
like you have to think about your average though. Like you can't think about like your peak, your top.
well, I let me like look at this because my average is not all that high.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like if you can supplement like what's it called, like your 5,000 steps with 50 jumps, that seems a
Well,
lot.
you're only getting them from one or the other. It's not you can't supplement one with the other. You're
No, no,
getting
that's
them.
what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you could choose to walk 5,000 steps or do 50 jumps, I feel like 50 jumps, even though you know it, 50 jumps is not that many jumps in the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not. I used to do uh uh on like the bottom step, right? Outside, I would jump up and down from that step 100 times a day. Uh and that would, you know, I feel like if you did that instead of a 9 to 5 every single day, it would hurt your fucking knees eventually. But $100 a day just doing that, not a bad gig.
I'm telling you, you have to. I feel like what you do is you kind of make it into an exercise,
Hmm.
right? And you can exercise either like once or twice a day. Do however many reps. You know what I mean, right? Not only are you getting healthy, you're getting fit. You're also it also counts for like your actual income as well, right? So you don't got to worry about, okay, I gotta work, I gotta exercise, and then I have my leisure time, right? Because you're combining your work and exercise into one. That's more leisure time.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, because like, all right, I'm looking at like my biggest day, the biggest steps day that I've done. I think that my phone has is 20,972 steps. Right, that was on September 25th, 2020. I think I climbed a mountain that day. I'm pretty sure I climbed a mountain that day. Let me let me check because I'm not sure. I gotta look back at my photos and see. Uh, tu- 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 tu. But yeah, 20,972. If I'm just earning a cent for that, man, that is actually pretty fucking bad.
Exactly. I feel like I had to think about it, right? But the exchange rate from steps to cash, from jumps to cash, jumps wins, like no matter what. Because even if you don't jump that often, you could just jump more often.
Okay, I've looked it up. I was about a year off. September 25th, I think I just went into downtown Charleston with my dad and my stepmom. I don't know how I got that many fucking steps. I got more steps doing that than I did climbing a fucking mountain. Cause let me check. I climbed the mountain in August. Let me pull that shit up. Okay, no, never mind. No, the mountain was higher. All right, 32,259 steps to climb that mountain. Right,
Mhm.
but uh, that's not a fucking lot of money. That is
Um,
not a lot of fucking money.
you just yeah, I think you have to just think about how long it takes to step, right? We don't think about it, right? But sure, you could put in a solid amount of steps in like an hour,
Wait, all
but
right.
you did
Can we
you
do the thing where we like shuffle? Does every shuffle count? Because if so, I could shuffle like 10 times a second over to my refrigerator and I could earn like a whole dollar. That's easy. You know, that does that count? Now we're looking at logistics here.
okay, well, like if like what do we count as a jump? Do we count a jump if it's like a 2 foot takeoff or if it's a 1 foot takeoff? In that case, if I walk up the stairs really fast and both of my feet leave the ground, is that a jump? You see what I mean? Like I feel like if we get down to like the nitty gritty of it, we could argue both ways. I think that in spirit, we both know what a step is and we both know what a jump is, right?
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair.
And I think that there's no way you can step 100 times faster then you can jump in like the same amount of time, right? It's just the math ain't mathin' on that one.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
And sure, jumps take more effort, but I think they don't take 100 times more effort, but you
I
get a
guess
hundred
that's true.
times more profit.
I don't know. All right, all right. Counterpoint, 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 counterpoint. Would you rather have the ability to freeze time for 30 seconds or rewind time for 30 seconds?
I think rewind, cause what you could do, if you ever fumble something, right? You could just go back, correct it. Now I don't know what the limitations of this power are, like if there's like a cooldown or
Let's say once per day. Let's say it's like a Skyrim power. You get to use it once per day.
okay. You see, like I would need to think of the uses for freeze time. I'm sure there's some pretty good uses that I could come up with for freeze time as well. But I think that I like the idea of rewinding time because think about it like you could use that power for several different things, right? Like uh you're in class, your professor asks you a question, right? You know, you get it wrong. They say the answer real quick. You're running time. You look like a badass. You know the answer. You're like, wow, look at me, right? you know, obviously that's a small thing. Or you could let's say you see yourself getting into like a really big accident. You see like a truck coming from you from the side, right? You real quick rewind time. Now you're prepared to not completely die,
All
right?
right. Addendum. Addendum. Would you rather have the ability to rewind time once per day for 30 seconds or 30 times per day, 1 second?
There's absolutely no way that you'd be able to really take advantage of 1 second increments to the same
I mean,
extent.
a second is a pretty long time. You can do a lot of things in a second.
I don't think you really can. I feel like a second seems like a long time whenever you're playing like a video game, but like in the grand scheme of things, whenever you're doing anything that's like most things, like a second goes by pretty quick. Like I said, the only time that seconds have ever felt like really long is whenever you're playing a video game and it's like overtime or like
I think you're not thinking of the theory of relativity. Seconds are only short in comparison to other things. If you look at it from a relativistic perspective, a second is a really long time. Think about it from like the perspective of like a mayfly, right? A mayfly lives hundreds of thousands of times shorter than we do, and he only gets 24 hours, right? He's got to make the most of it. A second's a pretty long time for him. So you just got to look at things relativistically, you know what I mean?
I suppose, but I think that if unless you're able to process time faster, which maybe is like some animals are able to process time faster. I don't know if that's a thing. If you could process time faster, have faster reflexes, yada yada yada, then obviously you kind of makes up for the shorter amount of time. But that's not part of your question. Just because it's a short amount of time doesn't mean I'm going to be able to process that time any faster. So because I can't, like, I think process a second fast enough to really make use of that second, 30 seconds would be better because I feel like 30 seconds gives you a decent amount of time to uh kind of like really like know how to like change the scenario, right? Have you ever watched like you ever watched like the Butterfly Effect or Erased, that anime show? Erased, the anime show probably is a little bit better of what I'm trying to talk about.
No.
Where he kind of has a similar power like that, where something bad will happen and then he'll kind of like go back in time, but just a minute or two, just
Mm-hmm.
long enough to actually change it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of like what I think of whenever I think of like this scenario you're talking about where you can go back 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Where yeah, you can change things, but you can't change a lot.
All right.
So,
You are turned into a girl. Would you rather be a hot girl or an ugly girl?
hot girl, of course. Easy question, easy answer.
For 6 months, we'll say. For 6 months, for half a year, you have to become a girl. Full on like double X chromosome, vagina, ovaries, the works, right? You
Yeah,
know? Uh hot girl or ugly girl?
hot girl, 100%, 100%.
I think I would want to be an ugly girl. I think I would want to be an ugly girl.
Why is that?
I don't want the drama, the hassle. You know what I mean?
You
I
don't
mean,
want the hassle.
it would be nice to get like free drinks and shit, but like I don't know. There, like, not. I try to avoid shitting on like full genders and shit like this. So like I'll say some fucking men are kind of assholes. Uh, and they get like very entitled to like if they fucking like, oh, I bought you drinks, you have to suck my penis now, or I held the door, you have to suck my penis now. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I feel like besides like the absolute like worst people, right? Who kind of prey on unattractive females, like how you're saying, right?
yeah,
I think that in general, being attractive makes your life a lot easier.
it
Whether
does.
whether you're a guy or a girl. So I feel like being attractive is always the way to go.
But I
I
feel
feel like the
like the
benefits way outweigh the positive.
but I feel like the the drawbacks of being an attractive woman lead to worse like outcomes, right? It's like a um what you're describing, like again, we're both STEM students. Let's get into the math of it, right? You know,
Hmm.
if something sucks 20 like a 2 out of 10, right? Uh but it happens to you 20% of the time, right? Compare that to something sucks like a 9 out of 10, but it only happens 1% of the time, right? You got to think about it like that. And you just have to find like how much does it suck compared to how much does it happen. And I feel like that's sort of the math you need to make when you're like, do I want to be a hot girl or do I want to be an ugly girl? Because again, face it, some men fucking suck. Some guys are fucking assholes, you know? And so I think to avoid it, it would be better to be ugly, you know? Cuz if you're pretty, then you're attracting more men, and statistically, if you're attracting more men, then you know, they're going to be assholes. Like you're going to be dealing with more of them. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think that you're only thinking about it as like you're only thinking about the downsides of it though. You're not thinking about the benefits. I feel like you got to do pros versus cons, and I think pros outweigh cons. If you just look at cons for both, there's more cons, sure, but there's also more pros. S-
uh,
So
I
it's
don't
like
know.
I think that like if you just want, I suppose, the least amount of pros and cons, being an ugly girl is probably there's a few cons obviously, but there's not a lot of pros. Versus with being an attractive girl, there's lots of pros, but there's also probably a lot of cons. So
Hmm.
I think the pros will outweigh the cons. I really do. I think that's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I feel like we have to go to the ad break now because I'm now I'm starting to fucking contemplate some things. I think it's better if we go to the ad break. All right, well, let's go. We'll go to the ad break. nonsense talk therapist and parent coach, serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AMANDAREDWINE.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. All right, we're back. In the ad break, we were talking a little bit more about the when versus how question, and Danny brought up an interesting proposition. Why don't you repeat for the audience what you just suggested?
I was pretty much saying that if you knew when, you could kind of plan it out a little bit more. Everything you want to do before you die, right? And I was saying that maybe if you wanted to commit some illegal activities, waiting until the day of your death, you'd pretty much have no consequences, right? You'd be able to get away, not get away, but like not have to deal with the consequences of whatever illegal action you decide to take, right? And I was thinking, right, what are some fun illegal activities that we could do? To be honest, there's probably more that I can't think of, but I was thinking we could plan some very elaborate sort of heist. I think that would be a fun use of our time. And I
And
was and I think that the unfortunate part about this, right, is that unless both me and Kale die on the same day, which if we die on the same day, we have to know that it's because of the heist at that point. We have to accept that. That's
not necessarily. Not
the,
exactly. Are
like
how close
it's
are we to the date before we start like putting the heist in motion? How close are we? Are we like a month off? Are we like 2 days off? What are we doing? When are we doing it? What are we doing?
okay. Let's say we have like 10 years, right? And
Okay.
we both get our death day. It's the exact same day, like exact same day. Let's say it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give you like I don't. I guess we could do like a time of death, like an exact time of death, like
Mm-hmm.
hour, minute, second, whatever, right? And like we know that we're dying on the same day. Maybe not the exact same minute, but same day. So
Mm-hmm.
we live our life, we do our things, we have all of our fun moments, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you and I, we secretly plan, in secret, some sort of big send off, right? And we're like, all right, let's do a heist. Let's do something, that we see in all those movies. We've played Henry Stickmin. We
Speak for yourself. Who
we
is we? Is you speaking French?
okay. If you know Henry Stickmin, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't know Henry Stickmin?
No.
Okay, you
And
should.
this isn't a bit like that one time where you had the bit where you were like, "Who's Kendrick Lamar?" This isn't that.
That
Okay.
wasn't a bit. I figured out who Kendrick Lamar was though. I saw a video of him in a Lonely Island music video, and I think
I swear to God.
I didn't listen
I
to
swear to God.
I didn't listen to the actual song, so I don't know how he sounds, but I saw a picture of him on the thumbnail. So I think I
Swear to
figured out
God.
who Kendrick Lamar is
I
now.
swear to God. Please actually kill me. God.
Okay, but we're getting off topic, I feel like. This isn't about how much I know about Kendrick Lamar, which is a lot, of course. This is about
Last name.
what?
What's his last name?
Lamar. You think I'm
Not
stupid?
true. Not true. You know nothing. You know nothing. You you bitch. You bitch. You
Anyways,
bitch.
back to this heist idea, right? If you know anything about Henry Stickmin, which I guess you don't, they're games that they're like flash games where it's like you choose your own adventure sort of thing, and there's one where you rob a bank for a giant jewel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, I want to have some sort of fun, elaborate kind of like heist movie sort of like level scenario to kind of go
Mm-hmm.
out on. I feel like that'd be a fun kind of going out sort of thing to do. The problem is, I don't think real life things will go that well. Let's be realistic here.
I don't know.
Probably.
I'd do pretty good in a heist scenario. I'd do pretty well.
I'd love to believe that we could pull off this heist, and there'll be no problems. But I'm thinking maybe there's probably some other illegal activities that might be a little bit more realistic that we could pull off. But I think this heist idea, let's not sleep on it. Let's not sleep on it. It's a good idea.
No, I like heist. I think this is a good plan. What are we stealing?
Well, I think we gotta steal something. I don't want to steal money because what am I gonna do with money? I'm about to be dead. I think we should steal something like a really valuable, rare like jewel of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe like some art, like some really valuable art.
You want to steal the Mona Lisa?
Now that would be you know what? I like this idea. Let's
I'm gonna steal the
steal.
real one.
Let's steal okay, like the Mona Lisa is a good option. I like this. I like this. We can steal the Mona Lisa. You and I, we craft this elaborate plan. We steal the Mona Lisa. What could possibly go wrong?
I actually. Um, do you want an even better heist? Are you ready for this?
Okay, what do you got? What do you got?
I want to steal the U.S. cheese reserve.
You know what? You you topped it. I don't know how you did. You did though.
1.4 billion pounds of cheese worth $3.4 billion.
Now that sounds like a plan to me. I don't. I think that we figured it out. Did we just do it? Did we
I
just
think
solve
we
it?
just found the greatest heist ever, really, to be
You know
honest.
what? I like this idea a lot more. I think that the Mona Lisa a little basic.
Blase. Blase. Yeah, no. We're
The royal,
stealing the U.S. cheese reserve.
yes, the cheese reserve is really like the peak of like things that we could possibly steal.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Isn't that such a good idea?
It
We
it
can sell it all and make a lot of cheddar.
you know yeah, yeah, um yeah,
You're supposed
yeah.
to come up with cheese puns. Come on.
I'm just trying to process your cheese puns. I just don't want to. I want to let the audience really have time to process it too.
I don't know. They're going to be really mad when they catch us. I think they're going to call us monsters. Oh,
and
fuck.
and the way we die is we drown in the cheese because we jump inside the vault. Actually, we don't even need to steal the cheese. We could just go inside of like their little like Scrooge McDuck vault of cheese that they have, and just you
Jump in.
know
Yeah.
yeah, just jump in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
I'm
that
glad.
that'll be a good way to go, really.
Yeah. I'm glad you can admit that this was a feta idea than stealing the Mona Lisa.
So I think that is a win for knowing when you're gonna die instead of how you're gonna die.
We should come up with pseudonyms for this heist. Uh, how about we be the Jack brothers, Monterey and Colby? How about that?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I can I how about I be Pepper Jack?
Sure, sure. Well, then we need a Colby. Who's gonna be?
Like
Where's Colby?
we don't need a Kobe. You know, we don't necessarily need a Kobe. I just want to be Pepper Jack.
No,
I I I feel like I could do a really good Pepper Jack.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I hang on. I'm still looking for at names of cheeses to come up with puns.
Uh, I could be a good provolone as well. I'll do provolone or Pepper Jack.
No, it has to be blank Jack. You know.
Okay, well in that case, I would do Pepper Jack.
Well, then I'll be Monterey Jack, but then we need a Colby Jack.
We don't need Colberry Jack. We can get our special guest to be
Colby
Colberry
Jack is the
Colby Jack.
best Jack cheese. What do you mean?
I don't know. I like Pepper Jack. I kind of like the spices in it. You
I
know.
don't know. All this arguing is making me blue. We're back, baby. We're so back. Woo!
Yeah, out of all the cheeses, that's barely one. Barely one.
Shut up. Shut up. Fuck you.
People
Fuck
don't think
you.
blue cheese is like. People don't think of blue cheese as cheese. They think of it as a sauce.
No, bruh, if you're uncultured if you think blue cheese is a fucking sauce, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You wouldn't know gorgonzola from fucking Roquefort, bro. Fucking cringe. Imagine.
How about we get the special guest to be Colby?
I think he would like that. I think he would like that. I think that does. I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yes, and we'll be the Jack brothers, and we'll go in to this heist. You know, all with cheese themed masks. I'll have the pepper jack mask. You know,
You mean mascarpones?
exactly, exactly. You get it. You get it.
I was working on a way to fucking. I was
And
hoping someone would bring up masks. You
and
know.
the good thing is right because we'll be wearing cheese themed outfits. They really won't think that we're that suspicious walking into a cheese themed facility.
That's true. That's true.
You know, they could just be like, man, they're just really big cheese enthusiasts.
Nothing to brie here.
You really got him with that one. You really got him.
Oh my god. Hey man, afterwards I just want to retire to my cottage. Like cottage cheese.
No, no, I got that.
But you didn't laugh.
Like, cause that one, that one was the barely cheese. I feel like at that point.
Cottage cheese is not barely cheese. If cottage cheese is barely cheese, then fucking
No, no, I meant like I feel like you know, like the sentence made too much sense. The pun was too subtle.
I don't fucking I don't know. What's give me more cheese names then, shithead. God. Fuck. I don't know. I guess I'll just Ozzy go and get out of here.
Yeah, why don't you? Why don't you do that?
Come on. Come on. More I need more cheese puns. Fuck.
I like this idea. I like this plan. You know, so have I convinced you to come over to the win instead of the how?
Maybe. Maybe.
Unless you have a better argument for how. I don't think you can top you know cheese heist though.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of just convinced myself because I came up with that idea. I don't.
Well,
How
I
long are
think
we gonna train beforehand?
I
I
feel
feel like
like
we're gonna need to do some like physical training.
I feel like we have years to prepare. You know, we definitely are. We cannot wait till like
That's true.
we
That's
can't wait
true.
too late. You know, especially you know we got to order these custom cheese costumes.
If we all right, if we take this option and we know that we are going to die in 10 years, we start training tomorrow. Especially with the physical stuff, because we want to be like we want to. I think we want to emphasize like flexibility, right? You always want to remain limb burger.
You know, it's the subtle ones. That really gets you.
Oh man, you know, I really keep stringing you along, don't I?
These are getting a little. These are becoming a bit of a stretch, but I do appreciate it.
Get it? Because you have to stretch cheese sometimes.
That's how'd you know? That's exactly what I was talking about.
Fucking there's two kinds of fucking people. There's smart fellas and there's fart smellers.
Yeah. Well, do you have any more would you rather's for us? I feel like
Wait,
we
would you
we
say that it was a riche? It's a type of Egyptian cheese.
no
I'm going
I
international with
figured.
them. I'm going with like international ones because I can't find any. Man, it's hard once you get out of like a lot of them don't lend themselves to puns very well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fucking ugh.
But you're doing it though. You're making it a stretch
I-
and you're
I'm
doing it.
breaking I'm breaking new ground really. Who else has made this many cheese puns? You know?
In the last couple years, the cheese pun community has been real quiet.
They were preparing for this, you know. I've been waiting. I've been watching. I've been waiting. You know, I've been in the weeds. You know, I've been training. I've been getting ready to go. You know, um, some of these puns can be a little Stilton, huh? Stilton cheese, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But see, like, so like, what's it called? This power that we have should like determine when we're gonna die. Does everybody have this power?
No,
Is
just us
is
two.
Okay? Because I was gonna say if it's incorporated as like a part of society, I feel like they might have like measures uh to prevent cheese heists from happening.
I was gonna say, Danny. I think you're just describing the plot of the movie in time. I think you're just describing the plot of that movie.
I forgot about that movie, but I am noticing some striking similarities.
I noticed the warning signs. I was there. I was like, hang on, hang on. We're getting dangerously close to
See,
that
now
territory.
now we're getting into like novels and movies that probably already exist, but
But I'll tell you what they didn't do in time is steal the U.S. fucking cheese reserve, baby. That's a Kale original right there.
mhm, mhm,
That's a
mhm.
fucking yeah. It's like Breaking Bad, but it's breaking into the cheese vault and stealing it. Oh my god! Wait. So you know how like we have a Fort Knox for our gold reserve, right?
Yeah,
They should name the cheese vault the Roquefort. Come on, that'd be a perfect name. Like, what the
I
fuck are they doing if they hadn't
I
come up with
am
that?
I'm all down for puns. I think that more government like things should have puns in them.
That's
Really,
true. Really, genuinely.
I
If
think
that
that
was
like everybody would agree, red and blue. We would all agree if there was just more puns.
that's true.
I feel like puns unite everybody together.
That's yeah, that's true. You know, I feel like if that was an official political party like platform, they'd get a lot of votes.
I think that we need to introduce some more parties, and I think that if there was a candidate that had their entire platform like be based or very strongly kind of you know it's just a lot tons of puns like I know that I'd be inclined to want to support them. Like I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's true. That's true. I would too. I would too. Um, yeah. I don't know. I think I am finally out of cheese puns. That is really
So
sad.
so do we want to run for we want to run like co-presidents
I don't
2020.
think they have co-presidents anymore.
No, I think that we can make it work. I
I think they got rid of that amendment to the Constitution in the 1800s. I'm pretty sure
Mm, in the
of
1800s.
about like the early
Damn.
ones. Yeah. Yeah.
I think what we do, right?
Hmm.
We make a platform based off of first amending the right for co-residence and then second puns.
Okay. All right. Well,
Like imagine
who's becoming president first, right? Because we got to think about this. We got to think about
no
this,
no
right?
no we run together. That's the whole point of our campaign is that
But
like
we don't have the amendment yet, so it won't work.
oof, this is a tough one.
You are putting the cart before the horse. You're putting the cart before the horse. Can that be one of our platforms? Or can we can that be like the new presidential limo? Is a cart pulled by horse? Can we do
Like
that?
imagine just imagine like you're watching like the months before the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching a rally of just two bros being bros. You're telling me, a part of you doesn't want to vote for them? Like
I
those
I
bros being bros, like I don't know. I feel like we're gonna connect with a lot of people with that.
I always thought that Joe Biden and Donald Trump their debate should have had a lot more kissing. You know what I mean?
Even now, see, you're kind of getting the spirit of what I'm putting down here.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Um, but yeah, no, that they should have had a little bit more kissing. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that would have made the fight better too.
Uh, you are of course referring to the fight between retarded person and geriatric person.
Well, there's only one fight that's like really been relevant this week, to my knowledge.
Yeah. Also, I thought oh yeah. Um, we're talking about the water thing, and I said I was going to put a pin in that.
Watergate.
No, the water thing. So they uh they were doing construction outside my house. They're replacing some of the water pipes, and these fucking douchebags, right? They parked their vehicles and shit right outside my driveway overnight. Like they stopped working at like 4 in the afternoon, but they left all their shit there, so I couldn't fucking pull out of my fucking driveway. And they like closed the road too. So I was stuck in my house. They started construction way before than they said they were going to. I think they were done replacing my pipes on the day they said they were going to start. Right? And it's like, I'm all for getting shit done early, but guess what? You have to actually fucking tell me when it's gonna happen so I can go to the grocery store and stock up. So like, uh, they fucked all that shit up, and then on top of that, afterwards, there was no we were on like a boil order in my house. Um, so like we couldn't use the water, and that was so fucking annoying because like I just barely was able to make it out of my driveway and go to the grocery store and like pick up stuff for the boil order. But like if we had been on a boil order for like an entire day with like having run out of groceries, couldn't go to the store to get more, couldn't get bottled water, that would have fucking sucked so much dick. And I was able to prevent it, but like the fucking city did not help. You know what I mean? So now, as revenge for the government, I'm going to now steal the United States cheese reserve. All 1.4 billion pounds. All of them.
Well, we have options. We could steal the reserve, or we could just Scrooge McDuck, dive into the vault.
We go in there and we eat the entire thing until we die, and that's how we die.
Oh, okay. It'll be like that one episode of SpongeBob where Squidward eats a reserve, and
Yes.
and it all goes to his thighs. That'll be us. It'll all go
Yes.
to our thighs.
Yes.
I like
And then
this.
we
I like
die.
this.
Yeah.
And then we die. Like that would have been the canonical ending in SpongeBob. They were just too cowardice to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder what the line is, right? So there's a certain amount of potassium that becomes radioactive in bananas. So if you ate 10,000 pounds of bananas in 10 minutes, you die of radiation poisoning. among other things. Um, I wonder what the level is for cheese. I wonder like how much cheese you would have to eat before the radiation kills you. Time to do an experiment. That's what we'll do in the cheese reserve. They got 1.4 billion pounds.
I feel
That's
like,
like 500 million pounds each. I feel like that's plenty of cheese to fucking, play
you
around with.
know, exactly. We'll make sure the third person that comes with us is taking like the results of this
Detailed
experiment.
notes, detailed notes, yeah.
Yeah, because like if we're going to like die, like we could at least contribute to science a little bit,
Yeah,
and
publish it, Yeah, get me published,
and
please.
and then not only will we have gone out and be known for robbing the cheese reserve, but we'll also be known for maybe like discovering something in science as well, so
Dying
we'll have
from cheese related radiation poisoning.
yeah, well, like let me tell you, whenever they discover the cure to like the cheese flu, like our names will be in the history books.
I feel like we're going to be patient zero of the fucking cheese flu. I feel like we're going to start that.
Okay, well, we can be in the history books for that. I don't know. We'll be in the history books for something though.
Either way, we're going down in history.
All publicity is good publicity.
That's true. That's true. Would you rather go down in history or go down in math?
Go down in what do you mean go down in math?
I was making a sexual joke.
I'm trying to figure out how exactly this joke was supposed to go though.
You go down during a math class and engage in sexual intercourse.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'd rather go down in history. I
You'd
get it
rather
because it's another
engage in oral
class.
sexual intercourse
I
in a
get it because
history
it's another
class?
class. You get
I
it?
guess you like math more. I guess you want to pay attention in math. You just want to skip
Yeah, like I
history.
feel like what why do I need to learn about history? It like never repeats itself.
Oh my god, I've wanted to raise this point for a fucking while. Actually, I've had it in my notes app for a while. It pisses me the fuck off so badly whenever, like, on a test, right? Um,
Hmm.
there's a fucking uh they'll like test you on not only the concepts, right, but like the people who discovered them, right? And that's a big thing for me because I'm in psych class, right? So like all the like famous psychologists, right? You have to learn about B.F. Skinner and his little box, right? Or Pavlov and his dogs, or Freud and wanting to fuck his mom, right? When
Yeah,
like we could just be learning that the Oedipus complex means you want to fuck your mom, right? It doesn't necessarily, we don't need to know that it came from Freud, right? Uh like if I'm wasting my brain, it's like the old classic statement, right? Of like, if I knew where I learned things, I'd only be able to know half as much, right? If I knew every place that I learned the things I know, I'd only be able to know half as much, right? It's the same thing. If I knew the people who came up with the concepts, I'd only be able to remember half the concepts. And I feel like the concepts are more important than the people, right?
I do think there is some history that is interesting, and there's some history that is not, and I feel like it's a little subjective, right? Which is why I feel like it should be something that should be up to the like what the each individual person to pursue. You know what I mean, right? I don't think that a lot of history isn't really important enough to where you have to know it, right?
I guess
I
that's fair.
get I get that, like let's say United States history, state history, like to some extent, you got to know the basics to be like a US citizen.
Hmm.
I'll understand that, right? But I don't feel like I need to know like every single detail about all of US history in order to really to really understand or be a US citizen. I'm like I get the gist, right?
I
I
think if you can answer, this is a big thing for me because I did a study about this recently. Um, I think if you can answer all the questions on the U.S. citizenship test, you're good. and it's open answer, so it's not multiple choice. You have to know this shit. But like I think as a U.S. citizen, if you need to know all of them, right? They only give you 10 random ones when you're taking the test, but uh, if you like I think in order to like call yourself a good citizen, you have to know all of them, and they're not hard. They're not hard at all. Like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just better than everyone else, right? But like the citizenship test has like some stupid easy questions that apparently people get wrong. People and like they give you 10 and you have to get 6 out of 10, right? And it should be so easy, right? It's like name one branch of the government, one branch or part. Like you can say Congress, the legislative branch, president, executive, the courts, judicial, that sort of fucking thing, right?
Just one branch? I figured that they
Just
would have had to
one
know at
branch.
least all three, but that's crazy. Just
One
one
branch
branch.
or part. They don't even have to say executive branch. They can just say Congress, you know? Oh my god. It's crazy. It's crazy.
There
Uh
are like some like US facts that I feel like everybody should know, but that I feel like it's a little bit more understandable if you don't. Cuz again, it's a lot of memorization. For example, US citizens probably should know all 50 states, but that's a lot of states to remember and not everybody got
there's
time
a
for that.
song. There's a
Uh
song.
Look, I
Alabama,
know.
Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. It's a fucking song.
Let me tell you, it doesn't
Everybody.
sound like a very catchy song so far, but I
Yes, it
believe
is.
you.
Fuck you. Everybody loves that song.
Everybody
Everybody.
loves that song.
Every human person. Even
Right.
they smuggle it to North Korea because there's such a huge demand for it and it's banned. They're not allowed to know about it, but we smuggle it over there.
We smuggled that one song.
Yeah, just that. Just that. I don't know.
That's
I can name all of the state capitals too. I've been able to do that since I was like 10, right?
again, like that's information that I feel like a lot of U.S. citizens should know, but it's understandable if you don't. But like in order to kind of make up for your lack of knowledge of other states, I feel like that's why it's also good to know like your specific state's history.
It's just like but these are so easy, right? It's like name a US territory. Name one of the states that borders Canada. Name one of the states that borders Mexico. What's the capital of the United States? Right? They're fucking easy.
I'm trying
They're
to think of
so
all the
easy.
states that border Canada. I think I know a couple, but I don't know all of them.
Uh
Mexico is a little easier though. I
Here,
think
let's see
it's
if you
only
can do it. Let's
it's
see if
only
you can.
three. There's only three that border Mexico, right?
All right, you failed that one.
Wait, let me think.
It's
Uh,
going to be really funny to figure out which state you're forgetting about.
which one am I forgetting about?
Name
I
name the 3 states you can think of right now.
okay. I'm trying to think of the one that I'm forgetting, but I know
No, name
it's
the ones you can think of.
it's what's Texas.
Yeah.
It's Arizona
Uh-huh.
and California. But I'm trying to
You
think.
forgot about New Mexico, you fucking dullard.
Is New Mexico like that? It's like bordering.
Yes.
I thought there was a little bit of
Yes.
space in
It
between.
borders your state. How do you not know that?
I know it borders my state. I didn't know it bordered like Mexico though. I thought
Have you
that
never seen a map before?
I haven't seen it in a minute. I don't look at maps every day.
You silly bitch. All
And
right.
I'm pretty sure I know a couple that border Canada. I probably can't name all of them.
I name 5.
I think was it Oregon? I believe.
Nope.
Is
Already.
Oregon? Is it?
No.
Is no no? It's Washington, isn't it? I know that there's
Washington's
two.
on top.
Yeah, Oregon's the one right below.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's I think Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
Washington,
Yes.
Well, I already said Washington. Then Minnesota, Wisconsin.
No,
Is where's Wisconsin? It's pretty close, isn't it?
I mean, almost only
Mich-
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Michigan.
Yes, partially. Yeah,
Uh,
there's
how
water in between, but there's like a bridge.
how close is New York to Canada? I know that that's pretty high up there. I don't know if that borders it though.
Make a guess. Yes or
I'll
no?
say I'll say New York. I feel like it's close enough. It probably.
Yes, it is. One more.
Um, what's another one that's like real high up there?
There are some of these that I would say don't count because they have
Con-
aquatic borders, not land
Connecticut.
borders. No,
Where where's Connecticut?
it's
I feel like
east of New
if
York,
hmm,
but it's south of two other states that do touch it. Just name
Maryland,
one.
Maryland,
Not even fucking close. What?
Delaware.
Not even fucking close. What? That's
I
even
I
further,
I
actually.
I am going south. I've noticed. I realize that. I'm just
That's
trying to think of state names
so
at this
much
point.
further south.
I'm trying to think of state names at this point. What are the ones that are on top?
I can't believe you haven't guessed the most obvious one.
Where's Rhode Island? I know that's probably not
Also
close
doesn't
enough.
touch that one.
I
Oh
know
my god.
I know Rhode Island's north. I'm just trying to think more north.
How
I'm
are
not
you
thinking
not guessing the most obvious one?
the most obvious one.
The state that has the longest land border with Canada.
The longest land border. What's at the very, very, very top? I know
Jesus
it's
fucking Christ, he doesn't know what
it.
Alaska is.
I you know what? You're right. I did forget about Alaska. Alaska is like barely part of the United States. It feels like sometimes. All right.
Whoa! Whoa, you can't just say that. You
No
can't
offense to
just say
Alaska
that.
or to Hawaii, but
He's so
like
bitter. Chat. He's so bitter
they're
because Alaska's bigger than Texas. He's so bitter about that. He's so bitter about
okay.
that.
Like it might be a bigger, state, but I just feel like there's less there. You know,
That you're gonna find out fucking soon enough. That's you're gonna fucking find out. Give it 6 months. You're gonna find the fuck out.
6 months. What happens in 6 months?
You know
Is
what
this
happens in 6 months.
is this a threat from Alaska? Like what? Are you on
Yes.
behalf of Alaska threatening Texas?
Yeah. They just messaged me.
They just DM'd you.
Yeah. Fucking Bigfoot just messaged me. Cause he's the only motherfucker who lives there. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're gonna fucking find out what's in Alaska. Alright. It's time to do a big red button. It's
I
time to do
feel
a
like
big red
I feel
button.
like I named enough states. I'll give myself an A minus, B plus.
Michigan doesn't have a full on land border. So they count it. They count Pennsylvania and Ohio as having a border with Canada as well, which I wouldn't
Wait, how
because
does that make sense?
they're
Ohio.
on Lake Erie and Canada owns half of Lake Erie. The border cuts through the middle.
Yeah, but Michigan's like on the top though, isn't it? Or is it like
Michigan, Detroit and Toronto are kind of separated by like a small body of water.
yeah, but I feel like that's close enough to Canada to where like I feel like those count, but I feel like Ohio and Pennsylvania are way too far away to count. In
Okay.
my opinion.
All right. That's fair. I
I'm trying to think of more that are on like the very top of the United States.
There's not like a bridge that takes you from Pennsylvania to Canada or from Ohio to Canada. So I wouldn't count those as having like an actual border. But I think
What
there
are
is one from
the
Michigan to Canada, so I'll
what
count
are
it.
what are the other ones that are like North United States that I'm forgetting?
Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. Idaho has a really tiny one because you know how it's
I
kind
know
of shaped like a gun?
exactly. Yeah, I know exactly how Idaho is shaped. I didn't think that it went that high though. I didn't realize that.
The very very tip of Idaho gets in between Montana and Washington, and just I don't know how long the border is. Let me look that up actually. How long is the Idaho Canada border? It can't be more than yeah. I was about to say it can't be more than 50 miles. It's 45 miles long, and that's it. That's the border with Canada in Idaho because it's so small. Just that little the little itty bitty tip because it's fucking it's shaped like a power drill, and that's the drill bit, and it's like drilling into Canada. I want to drill into Canada if
Yeah,
you
it
know what I
is.
mean. Yeah, you get it. You get it. You get it.
Yeah, it is.
Sex.
Yes, America fucking Canada.
We always do, don't we? Isn't that
Yes.
isn't that how it works?
That's why we shaped Idaho that way, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's-
Yeah, it's I you know what? You're right. You're right.
I don't know a lot
Um
about Idaho state history, but like I'm sure somewhere in there that's the reason why it's shaped that way.
that's true. That's true. You are correct. All right. Are you ready for the big red button?
Um sure, yes, let's bring it on.
You become a character, a pre-established character. I just wanted to throw that out there. A pre-established character in any medium, right? So game, TV show, movie, book, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, however, you can only choose the work, not the character. It's like if you pick Star Wars, there's a chance that you become Jar Jar Binks.
I'm sure there is a show that I probably can't think of
Mm-hmm.
where like there's very little chance that you would get a bad choice. But like let's say I chose like I'm trying to think of like a like the boys for example, right?
Mm-hmm. You
You
could
know,
become the guy
there's a lot
who's
there's a lot of bad options, you
you
know?
could become one of the guys whose dick gets exploded. There's a lot of
Exactly.
them.
There's a lot of bad choices, right? So I feel like you'd really have to sit down and like think of like what the best option is here. I was trying to think of one that had like the coolest character, but now I'm trying to think of something that has like you know like no bad characters, right?
That I mean, there can't be a show where nothing bad happens to anyone.
Well, you could choose just like a sitcom, or you could choose like a slice of life.
I don't know. Some sitcoms have some pretty tragic characters. Uh like pretty traumatized. Or let's pick Friends for example, right?
Yeah,
Chandler kind of had a pretty fucked up childhood and he's pretty traumatized, you know?
yeah, yeah. But I feel like all in all, Chandler in the show is pretty kind of sad. He gets the girl. You know,
Eventually.
he he just he's chilling with his bro Joey. You know what I mean?
But imagine if you become Joey.
Even better, because then
Where
I won't
you
be smart
slow
enough to realize how much I'm missing out on. I could just enjoy life as a simpleton.
I, you're not? Is it unpleasant for you?
What are you talking about?
See, exactly. You get it. You set
Like,
me up for that one. You set me up for that
but so
one.
I feel like a sitcom or like a slice of life kind of like anime or show has a lot of good options there.
Maybe.
Uh, but like if you want to choose any show that has like the really good characters, usually those have like the really bad characters as well.
Of course, only.
Also, you know how much it would suck to choose like Marvel, like, and then
Yeah,
you're just a random civilian.
yeah. You're that guy who gets covered in rumble by the Hulk in fucking Avengers. Yeah, that'd be fun. Or you could
Yeah,
be the
I'm
janitor who has to clean up the Hulk fucking bullshit in the Avengers.
I'm one of the workers that
Just stay away from the Hulk.
I'm one of the workers that like serves the Avengers. What do they have, like falafels or something at the end of the first Avengers movie?
Shawarma.
Shawarma,
Yeah,
yeah, shawarma. Yeah,
that
that's my role. I just work at a shawarma shop.
that would be so traumatizing, right? Like that's like 10 9/11s happening all at once in one day, and then you have to serve the Avengers fucking shawarma. What a fucking tonal whiplash for your fucking afternoon, right? Like an hour ago, there were like fucking giant space whales crashing through the fucking city and guys with fucking plasma guns shooting at people, right? And now fucking Tony Stark wants some goddamn shawarma and you're gonna give it to him because he's a
You know,
goddamn hero.
one of the only places that didn't get absolutely destroyed by aliens. All of like the surrounding buildings are just totaled, and then there's just this one
Honestly,
shawarma shop
honestly, I think
chilling.
that's kind of an improvement over modern day New York City. I think that it's at least a lateral move. It would be a shithole for a different reason than it currently is. So honestly, it
Like,
couldn't be much worse.
but then you like imagine you get like a character like I'm trying to think of like a character that
I
probably
think
like
there's
one
a
of the
mu-
villains,
I
right?
think there's a mutant who just has no bones. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I'm assuming like if you choose like a Marvel movie, like are you choosing like the whole universe, or are you just choosing characters from that one movie?
I'll say it has to be characters who are on screen, but extras count.
Yeah, and it has to be a name. Well, I think it has to be a named character. I feel like I don't know if
All right,
extra.
fine. It has to be a named character.
Right,
But
because if we do like extras, I feel like that kind of like ruins a lot of movies and shows.
all right, but like imagine if you're like the guy who cucks Ant-Man and who's banging his ex-wife.
Well, I'm pretty sure he has a speaking line or something, right?
Oh, he does, and he has a
He
name
has
too.
to.
He has a name
Exactly.
too. But
Like
I
he's
don't remember
important
his name
enough.
off the top of my head, but like imagine if you're him, right? Like
Okay, yeah. So we can count minor named characters like that, I suppose.
but like your wife used to be banging fucking Ant-Man, right? Like you got to be like a little fucking insecure about that, right? Like come on. Then
Well,
again,
he
she's
wasn't
fucking
Ant
Judy
Man.
Greer. That
He wasn't Ant Man before.
yeah, but now he is. Now he's fucking and. But like then again, he's with Judy Greer. I would give a lot of things to be with Judy Greer. I would give a lot of things. There are not a lot of things I wouldn't give to be with Judy Greer. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much.
Uh,
God. I love Archer. Do you love Archer? I love Archer. Archer's great. I
you
might go
know
watch some Archer after this. Like actually, honestly.
Arthur. You see, I
Arthur,
there.
yeah, the aardvark. What a
Arthur.
wonderful kind of day, so we can learn to love and play.
Yeah, Arthur, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, they should do a crossover. Arthur and Archer. I would love to see fucking Binky get lit up by like machine guns. That'd be awesome. Would you watch
Yeah.
that?
Uh, I don't know if I've watched Archer before. I would
Oh,
need to
it's
watch
so
Archer.
good. It's
I need to know like the lore.
it's
I don't.
Bob's Burgers.
That's the lore is Bob's Burgers.
Hmm. I wish I could say I was joking, but I'm not. That's I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, no, that's yeah. What I said is true from a certain point of view. But
From a certain
anyhow,
point of view,
yeah,
is kind of crazy, but yeah, sure.
you you don't understand the significance of that line, um, but you will. All right, uh, let's do our outro. Um, all right, thank you all very much for listening. If you want to support us, head on over to patreon.com and uh patreon.com/IIHS podcast. It's linked down in the description. Just yeah, head on over. Um, leave your support. Anything helps. If you join our $3 tier, you get a shout out. You get to listen to part one of every episode. So up until the ad break, as soon as it's done being edited. If you join our $5 tier, you get access to the whole episode early and ad free, and you get access to all of our movie commentaries. We've done some pretty fun ones, you know, Indiana Jones trilogy, um, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You know, the holidays are coming up. You know, might wanna join in for December.
If
You
y'all
know,
want to watch Die Hard, we got that one as well.
yeah, we did Die Hard. Yeah,
Yes, we all
yeah,
watched Die Hard together.
yeah.
It
That's what
was a
we did. Yeah,
community thing.
yeah, that's what we did. You're right. You're totally right.
Yeah,
You're so correct. Um,
I know. I don't know why you're saying it so weirdly, but yeah.
I don't know why you're behaving so weirdly, but whatever. Sure, I guess. But yeah, we did that, and that was pretty fun. So definitely go check that out. There's also a week long free trial. So if you want to check it out, heading into you know, we're about to start Christmas being a thing. You know, if you started Christmas before now, fuck you. By the way, we just want to. I feel like we can officially say that as a show. Do you agree with that, Danny?
Well, like, what do you mean if you started Christmas before now? Like, you started decorating already?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with decorating early? You don't. You're a hater.
I would get so sick of it if it lasted more than a month. You know, I've done pretty good at like avoiding Christmas stuff. I haven't heard many Christmas songs or anything yet, so I'm doing pretty good avoiding it. But like, people keep trying to start it earlier and earlier and earlier, and I can only stand it for about a month. So I start on Thanksgiving when Santa shows up in the Macy's parade. That is my cue. I can officially start decorating for Christmas, and only then,
I
only
think
then.
that that's kind of where I am at too. I don't want to start decorating until that week of Thanksgiving break. I feel like that's whenever I have a little bit less responsibilities. I have more time. Plus, I
I
feel
have
like
to
it's
start
more
on
thematic
Thanksgiving. Like
on Thanksgiving. I think that
yeah,
like that Thanksgiving, like those Thanksgiving days, that's a good
no,
time.
it's when Santa shows up. It's when Santa shows up, and not a moment fucking earlier. It's very important.
The Macy Days parade, guys. That's what really determines it.
It is because Santa shows up and he says it's time to start Christmas. Okay, so yeah, take your free week for Thanksgiving. You wanna watch Christmas movies. Go ahead. Join us. It's a pretty fun time. And then yeah, wonder what we're gonna
Yeah.
be watching for Christmas this year.
I have a couple ideas, but we'll talk about that more later, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll iron it out next week. We can figure that out. But yeah, thank you all very much for listening again. Yeah, join our Patreon, patreon.com/IIHS podcast. We are at IIHS podcast on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Good place to go for content, general updates, topic suggestions, Q&A, that sort of thing. It's a good place to go to check us out. But yeah, anywho, thank you all very much for listening. My name is Cal. I've been incredibly influential.
And my name's Danny, and I've been highly successful.
Yeah, see you guys later. Have a happy Thanksgiving. This is the last one before then, so have a happy Thanksgiving, y'all.